Hello, so today I'm going to be talking about Gothic Revival architecture in Charleston. I'm going to be looking at the example, which would be Grace Episcopal Church, located on Wentworth Street. We're going to look at the interior and the exterior as well as compare it to some other churches. Some effects of Gothic architecture as it was on the rise. Two revolutionary things that happened whenever we were changing this art was these ribbed vaults, which allowed us to have um, the ability to put in these windows. So they kind of fed off of each other, and these windows were very important as they showed um, portraits of things that happened in the Bible. So they're very storytelling, as well as included donor portraits from those who might have donated them as they were very expensive or labor intensive. So looking at the interior of Grace Episcopal, we have these stained glass windows. Look at it along the top here, at the front and the back of the church, as well as down here. And then again, we have those pointed arches right here. And because of these two, we have more height in the church and light compared to the barrel vaults where we had lower and did not have these windows. So that's just a good look at why this is Gothic architecture. Looking at the exterior, very geometric, lots of straight lines, organic shapes. We have this recessed portal, which some churches had like sculpture in here of like Mary or Jesus' death. This one doesn't look like it does. And then we have these towers on the outside as well as the top. So I guess a good question is how to ask yourself, would someone feel the same things in Grace Episcopal as they would in a traditional Gothic architecture style church? I would say yes, there are lots of similar features. Like we have the pointed arches right here, we have the stained glass windows with the bright colors and storytelling on them. So similar ideas, similar layouts. However, some people think the people are the church and not so much the building. However, in this time period, I feel like it was the church it was the building that was the church more so than the people. Um, Grace Episcopal is a lot more simple, but you still have lots of those same emotional appeals that you could get from something like this, which is almonds. So, closing thoughts. I think Grace Episcopal is a great representation of how we have incorporated Gothic architecture into the modern world. It definitely is a lot more modernized and simple compared to almonds over here. However, honors the same features and could still appeal to someone who has visited a real piece of Gothic architecture and not so much a revival. Um, and I just wanted to highlight, I think it's so important that we keep this architecture alive as it holds a lot of significance to many people. Um, as this is what they may have grown up around, or this is important to their family. Even if it's not necessarily the religious side of things, the architecture can mean a lot to people. So I think this is a great example that we have to really honor that Gothic architecture and incorporate the things like the ribbed vaults, the pointed arches, the stained glass windows, as well as the outside features that are very sharp and geometric and organic. So that is all. Thank you.